And hello, everyone. Happy 8th birthday to Radiolex. We are so happy to be here. I'm Renee Cobb. I have Warren Cobb in the studio, and we are with Mark Royse. Mark, do you have anything to kick off this segment of the Listen Locally block party?
Well, I'm doing the spiel. I know people are going to be sick of me by the end of today, but we are so excited to be celebrating 8 years on the air at Radiolex. And Renee and Warren and Overtones has been part of the station for a big chunk of that. One of the things that we are able to do as a small community radio station is support local artists, amplify the work of local artists, and that's super important for us. And it is our anniversary fund drive, so we're asking folks, please go to radiolex.us/donate and make a donation. Our goal is 8 donations an hour. Any amount counts, and if you make a donation during the hour, then you'll be registered to win some great prizes. And if you donate between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. today, you'll be registered for one of our 2 grand prizes. Plus, depending on how much you donate, you might be able to snag some really cool swag that we've got for this fund drive. So that is my spiel. Again, Radiolex is Lexington's community radio station. We're created by the people, for the people, and a big part of what we do is support local music, local artists, and Renee has been at the forefront of that since she started here.
Well, thank you, Mark. And again, we are so glad to be here. Mark's been hard at work for this, like all week, but started, at 8 o'clock on your shift? And he's going till 8 o'clock tonight. So if you are out and about in Lexington, please feel free to visit us over at Gray Line Station. It's a wonderful, wonderful facility.
We have snacks.
Yes, snacks and some badges and goodies. And they've got one of the most glorious floors that anybody has ever seen, with all of the vinyl laid down. But Mark, we're really glad to hear that last song. We're playing some songs today that were actually recorded on Overtones Live, and that was one of them from one of our favorite bands, UPPED. UPPED has been, I think, on our show 5 times, and we've even talked about it as far as how Saturday Night Live gives away the jackets to the host. We're going to have to get you a smoking jacket, Tanner. But we have Tanner Blevins in the studio with us today, and that song was called Jealousy. That's also a really requested song of mine. It was written by his sister, Amanda, who's also a member of UPPED. What can you tell us about that song? And then let's back up and let's talk about UPPED.
That song is, it's been around a very long time. So it was on our very first project we ever did. It was one of the first, probably one of the, I don't want to speak for Amanda, but it had to be one of the first 5 or 6 songs she ever wrote. And it's just been one that stuck around. I think part of that's because you've always requested it and loved it, so we would try to spice it up in different ways when we'd come on the show or something, and then we ended up putting it on a little EP we did a few years ago, and it stood the test of time in the UPPED world. So
it has. And also I've even got a video where I have them singing that song along with their song t-shirt in all different performances, and it's all kind of mashed together in the different styles. But one of the things that really fascinated me about this band, Mark, was that Warren had them on Red Barn several years ago, and I think that's where we first met you. And they were coming from Morehead State University, and they had a wonderful story about how you all got together.
That's true, yeah. So we all went to Morehead, and obviously my sister, we knew each other, but we all met in fun little different ways. Me and Patrick, our guitar player, shared a dorm room wall. We met Jared at a Morehead State basketball game. He was playing bass for the pep band, and then I met Matt. He was playing drums at their traditional music center, and so we all kind of became friends and played together in different ways until that ended up being kind of the core group of UPPED that it has been for the last few years. So, yeah.
How wonderful. And Warren, do you have anything to say about that experience? Because I was watching them that night, just really set off a lot of really great things to happen later.
Well, I spent a lot of time looking for groups that were from Kentucky or kind of the tri-state area, but specifically Kentucky, that kind of had reached a standard of musicianship, a high level of musicianship, worthy of being on the radio, and when I first heard those guys, I was like, what is this? Who are these guys? And why don't I know about them, you know? And so it's been a real joy to watch your journey, you know, from all this time, looking back from then to now, you know, and all the shows you've done and the fans that you've gained, and just, you know, you guys, every time you go in the studio and put out something new, it's just, you just raise the bar, you know. So, but thanks for, you know, that particular song, because every time I hear it, I end up hearing it for 3 days in my head. It's very hooky, and it, you know, it has that earworm quality.
Yeah, I call it beautiful and haunting, you know, and that's what you want to song
she said.
to do. Yeah, exactly.
It just rings in my head, you know.
I feel you.
But yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for saying that.
Yeah.
And Tanner, talk to us, because you have been on Radiolex several times, and not only on Overtones Live, you've been here with Off the Cuff as well. Tell us what you think community radio like Radiolex does for the artist.
It's just awesome. Like Whitney said it earlier, it's so cool. There's something about hearing your song on the radio, and you guys give a platform to local artists who may never have had that opportunity, and it's something that's just like, I don't know, something different than just putting our song on social media or whatever. Like, when we get to hear it in that form, it's like, I don't know, it's like we made it because we're on the radio, because that's the dream, right? You driving around and your song comes on in the car. So it's awesome to have Radiolex, places like this that are willing to, you know, show off local artists or local businesses or whatever, and give them that platform to share what they love to do.
Oh, well, again, we are so thankful for you, and I will concur with that. I know sometimes when Warren and I are driving around, and just to see your name kind of pop up on the radio when you're driving around in the car. And I will tell you, Mark, I've been responsible for sometimes just going outside to get in my car just so I can listen to it on the radio instead of just clicking the stream, right?
Right.
And it just gives you a great experience.
It is. I mean, it's magical. It really is. And it's sort of like the old school radio, when artists would drive their records around to radio stations, when it all wasn't a conglomerate and individual stations could make an artist pop and grow. So we like to keep that tradition alive.
I think that's what I was kind of alluding to earlier too. The community radio aspect of it is like that. It's kind of old school. And I think what Tanner said really resonates with a lot of people, you know, musicians especially, because sometimes it's the greatest thing they've ever done. I mean, really. You know, I mean, you never know where somebody's career is going to go. And so, you know, we try to raise up everybody and give everybody a chance to be heard. But looking back on my own career, I mean, the times that I was on live radio are just some of the best things I can remember doing, you know. And, you know, because when you're in that moment, it's like all your senses are just right there, you know. You're just in that moment trying to do the best you can with the song you're performing, you know. And it's even more heightened than a concert stage performance situation, you know. So, yeah, so we're just really happy to be able to afford these opportunities to as many people as we can. And the other part of it is the connections that we make. People who've never met each other, musicians and bands and things like that. When we have these multiple artist shows where people come together, you know, they make friends and they make connections, and those connections often are lifelong, you know, and they follow each other and they share stages later on down the road.
And they get in the shower together.
Yes, they do that too.
True. That is one of the traditions of Overtones at the Lyric, was the shower shots.
Yeah, we should put in a small shower here, Mark.
We need to do that. Some of those I've seen are out in the lobby as well. And that was the brainchild of Warren, who had his camera and had this great idea to put them in the shower with their musical instruments.
Exactly. Well, and if people are confused, the Lyric is a real theater, and so it had dressing rooms.
Yes.
And so in the dressing rooms, there were blue-tiled showers with curtains, like the whole deal, but they were not big. They were like phone booth size, kind of. And so a bunch of people with instruments piled in was really fun.
It was. We always said they're coming clean on Overtones this Monday, right? So awesome. I want to talk to you just a little bit more, and then we're going to hear another song. But Tanner, as we mentioned, has been I would just say, a key supporter and advocate of helping us move Overtones Live from the audio to the actual video version. And out of that, and out of a connection that we had last year, we were able to have Tanner film about 8 shows for us that are now ready for TV. So that's the next step that we're kind of going to. And because of the high quality of film that he uses, talk about your filming process, because you've moved us from 4K. And this started actually with the Goodwin Brothers performance that we had. Tell us like how you went about doing that for us the first time and how it's kind of evolved.
Sure. That's kind of my day gig, and that's what I went to school for is video, and so I have a big passion for that as well as music. And we do all of our own music videos and things, and filming concerts and music is always so fun, but it's hard when we're on the stage. So it was cool to have opportunity to just watch the concert, try to find the angles that just made the show pop, made it look great. And so that's what we tried to do in all those shows. It was super fun. Got to bring the gimbal out and run around and get different angles, and it's awesome. And the stages are always so well lit, you don't have to worry about that portion, which is always kind of the like tedious part. I like getting out there and doing it and just filming. So yeah, it was fun. It was a good opportunity to kind of shine a light on some other artists and to do another one of the things I love.
And what's wonderful as a result of that, the artist has video that they can put on their social media, that they can use to get gigs, they can use to get further performances. There's just such a focus on high quality video right now. And this isn't the days where you can turn in video where you're in your room. We're out of COVID, right? But people got really creative during COVID too. But I just wanted to thank you for that.
Yeah.
As a lot of people know, about 2 weeks ago, the Goodwin Brothers won an award at the Hollywood Independent Music Awards. And the actual award was for Best Live Performance. And that live performance was for Shady Grove, which was on Overtones Live, which was filmed by Tanner Blevins. And we thank you for that.
Well, thank you for allowing me to be part of it.
We're going to hear one of your friends play next, and it's Clarke Sexton.
Oh, cool.
Talk about Clarke Sexton. I know that you've also hosted Clarke's show for us.
Sure, yeah. Clarke's an awesome dude. I grew up with him. He's a couple years younger than me, but he was always like that musician guy. Even when we were kids, he was like middle school and stuff. He's up there playing bass, singing, and he was already so good. So it's cool to see him out like doing his own thing, doing the singer-songwriter thing, and playing kind of all over. It's just been awesome to watch, his growth from knowing him as a little kid to now.
And this is Clarke Sexton performing one of his originals, Grapevine.
To the bone bag, getting everything that I ever wish I had. Come on, baby, get close to me. Set your outside free. Take it slow, baby, we can take it fast. Doing all I can to make this thing last. I heard it through the grapevine. Did you say that you wanna be mine? I can walk that line. I can walk that line. Get it on, show me what you're made of. Trying to get myself a taste of your sweet love. And I know me. I can tell by your eye digging what you see. I heard it through the grapevine that you say Girl, you should know this time I can walk that line. I can walk that line. Say that you wanna be mine. Baby, you should know this time I can walk that line. 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 Thank you so much, y'all. Appreciate that very much. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us this evening.